Welcome to the famous couch of GRTV's Christmas calendar. I've got Thomas with me here today, and we're going to play the role as time travelers and try to remember January last year. You went to Vegas.
Oh yeah, I did, and drank a whole bunch and partied it up and went
all on company money.
Yeah,
so that's why we're sitting in this shitty studio now.
True, it's my fault. Silly Christmas.
But CES, I've not been professionally to CES ever. I was actually at the summer CES of 1992 and I just played video games there with my father. But that's a whole different story. But tell us, what is the winter CES that you went to?
It's pretty much the biggest electronic geek conference in the world, where every big company and probably also every small company that has some sort of gadget attend. Yeah. And try to just capture your imagination with all sorts of weird, both crap, but also really cool stuff.
To give you an idea of the size of CES, we have decided to do a show floor show. But keep in mind that this is only one of the halls. This is actually South Hall. South Hall is 2 stories tall, and also there are 3 halls in all, and it's an absolutely immense place. So watch this.
And there is some gaming there, right?
There's a little bit of gaming because of course Sony is represented there, and a couple of other tech companies, and you know, they do have their small part in the show, but it's not really why you go to CES anymore. It is pretty much to just watch, you know, the newest computers, the newest flat screens, everything in between, and also on the software side, of course, Microsoft, when we went, were really gearing up for the launch of Windows 8. Yeah. Which is now gone, and that had a huge part at the show, and you know, really just everything electronics.
One thing that stood out for you?
It was probably the early introduction of the OLED screens, especially from Samsung. They are of course one of the biggest players on the market, and they showed off their technology, and it just kind of blew my mind. I mean, I had heard all the praise of the technology before, but before you actually see it in like a 30 or 40-inch screen, you can really, you know, really appreciate how clear the colors are. And that sounds really geeky, and you might not seem to think that it's so impressive right now, but when you see it yourself, you will really be able to see the difference between the flat screens we have right now and what the future will be.
We can't really show that on video either. It's like, you know,
you have to see it yourself. It's like virtual reality and everything that you probably heard of before, but it is really amazing. I will say though that we saw the OLED screens, we saw the 4K screens, which of course is even higher resolution than Full HD. But we also saw new technology from Sony. I believe it's called Crystal LED, which, as the name implies, is an evolution of the technology that's already there. But and I should say it only was shown with still screens, but the definition of the details in the picture was out of this world, and it was so insane to look at that every time me and Nick, who I traveled with, who is also really into, you know, cameras and colors and everything, it was to such an impressive detail that every time we would walk by, we had to stop and just have a look at it. And I had to punk Sony for details that we didn't get and everything, but it looked really impressive.
And we don't really know when that will happen.
It's not even confirmed that it's ever gonna make it into retail models, but the technology is there, it seems, and it was so cool to look at.
So I actually have a CES story of my own.
Oh, let me hear.
Because well, it's not really a CES, but when I was at E3 this summer, I went with a cab driver. That actually worked in the games industry back in the day, when because E3 is an offshoot from the CES show. It used to be that like the big video game event of the year was the CES show, and all the big players were there. But apparently, the winter CES in Vegas is really cramped. I mean, you know that they fill up pretty much all the halls there at the convention center. Thing is that video games wasn't like they were the cousin that nobody really wanted to have along. So what happened when the halls were full? They had to be in the parking lot in tents. And this winter it was like really like rainy, stormy, and of course they had all the extension cords and all the electricity right on the ground, and then the water started rising. So that year, apparently, the gaming industry decided we need a show of our own where they can't push us around, and that's sort of how E3 got started as an offshoot from CES. So.
And we do enjoy E3.
We do enjoy E3, and it's a good thing that we have plenty of places to go, right?
True.
We don't mind going to Vegas.
Of course not, especially when someone else is paying.
You're paying, because you're our audience.
True.
So that's pretty much wraps things up for CES. It's coming around soon. It's just like a few weeks away, the next one. But for now, we're going to give you today's Indie Darling, and then Emily is going to bring you the competition of the day, and she's also, as it's Monday, we will give you the past winners. It's only 2 so far, but we'll present those winners, and then every Monday she will present new winners. So that's it. See ya.
So recently I've been traveling a lot, so I've been focusing my gaming mainly on the iPad, and there's a little game called The Room that I like very much. I'm a big fan of point-and-click adventures and more puzzle-oriented games, so that game really has a nice production value for me. It's a nice puzzler. It's good to keep your brain occupied, but at the same time it has this old point-and-click feeling to it. So for me, my latest discovery is The Room, and I like it very much.
So it's time to announce the winners of the first couple of days. The winner of Hitman Absolution on Steam is Ville Hippie, and the following people have won Steam codes for Game of Dwarfs: Kevin Hermansson, Francisco Javier Vaca Lumbreras, Ali Rezan, Christian Krask, and Jonas Grøndal. Congratulations. That was a trailer for Jetpack Joyride. Today's question is, what is the name of the main character in that game? Write us an email at xmas@gamereactor.eu and write the answer in the subject line. Make sure we get your email before 12 noon tomorrow, Central European Time, for a chance to win Jetpack Joyride on PlayStation. Good luck!